Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I am so glad that I made it on time. It was touch and go for a little bit on whether or not I was going to be able to wrangle Nick asleep, but I made it. So, how's everyone's night going? Hi, Alicia. So excited for book club. Hi, Renee. There's decaf in here. Decaf. But I wanted it to feel like I'm, getting caffeine. So it's decaf, but if you guys are drinking something warm or you're drinking anything, adult beveragey, just let me know. What are you guys doing right now? Where are you sitting? What you doing relaxing? I would love to know. I'm really enjoying my new rearranging of my office, which I really didn't rearrange a lot. But yeah. Uh, After reading this book, I'm hiding my spare house key somewhere else. Yeah, that's probably pretty smart. Pretty smart, Ellen. I'm so happy I was able to make it. Yes, me too. Ooh, bubbly water. I've always wished that I could like bubbly water, but it. I don't know. It like blah, 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 blah. That's how it makes my tongue feel. Blah, blah, blah. Hi, Kathy. So glad that you were able to join. What are you having for dinner? Ooh, yay. Ooh, decaf Earl Grey. Just finished the first hour of the audiobook of next month's book. Ooh, I hope that it's a good start. I'm excited. Hi, Christian. Doing well. Finished the final edits for my second book. Now waiting for a proof copy. So excited. Yay! And I have been working on your book cover. Last week was just oh my goodness, last week was rough. Hi MB, I'm going to have to drop off for a bit. It smells like dinner's almost ready. I should be back. Sloppy Joe's on gluten-free bread, of course. Thank you so much for your gluten-free recipe books. I'm so excited to dive deeper into them. I did a Thrive Market uh order for gluten-free and dairy-free stuff because I have dairy-free creamer in my coffee right now. I never thought I would, but I love middle grade March. Yes, because we pick great middle grade mystery books every year. Uh, yes, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to read the synopsis of the book, and I am wanting you guys to let me know your ratings. You can either put them in Clio format, which is a black cat emoji, or you can put them in your star emoji on what you rated it. And let me go to the synopsis. So, Death by Chocolate Cherry Cheesecake by Sarah Graves was the Cozy Escape Book Club pick for February. Our theme was sweet. And it says, life gets a little sweeter in the island fishing village of Eastport, Maine, when Jacobia, Jake, Tiptree, and her best friend Ellie open a chocolate-themed bake shop, the Chocolate Mousse. They expect to make plenty of dough this 4th of July weekend, and having family home for the holiday only sweetens the deal for Jake. Until an early season hurricane sours her plans. But an empty bake shop and a ruined reunion are a piece of cake compared to murder. When health inspector Matt Muldoon is found dead in the kitchen of the Chocolate Mousse, Ellie is suspected of indulging in revenge. She made no secret of her distaste for Matt, who had been raining on their parade with bogus health code violations. Now, with no alibi for the night of the murder, she's in a sticky situation, and it's up to Jake to catch the real killer and keep Ellie living in the land of the free. Bum, bum, bum. And this is book 1 of 8. Let's see. We've got 4 Cleos, 2 Cleos, 2 Cleos, 4 Cleos, 3 Cleos, 3 Cleos, um, 2 Cleos because injuries happen to people in conflict and hurting dogs is out of bounds. I concur. Uh, I read this one ages ago. It was the first cozy I ever picked up. So the Cleos get bumped up for that just alone. That makes sense. 2.5 Cleos. Ivy, hi. No, you're fine. Welcome, welcome. Let me know what your rating is. Um, so let me go and look because I left my reading journal at work as per usual. But if I go into my Book Mori app and I look to see what I rated it. Whoa there. All right. So I rated it a 3.5. Um, because I mean, I agree. There's lots of things to unpack here. One is I know a lot of you guys already know this, but apparently these characters were also already somebody tell me if I'm wrong. These characters are also from the Home Repair uh is Homicide series, um because Jacobia Tiptree is like fixing up her like Victorian house, and so it's sort of like a spin-off of that series, from what I gather, uh, is what I've been able to do. Has anyone read the other series? I have not read the other series at all. Um, the other series has 16 books in the series. The first one is called The Dead Cat Bounce. And the first book came out it looks like it came out in 2009. So that series came out quite a while ago. 2009 doesn't seem that long ago, but apparently it is, according to some students that told me that I was old. But I digress. Um, uh, let's see. I didn't read it, but I wouldn't have liked hearing about an animal being hurt. Yeah. Um, oh, that helps make the backstory make more sense. Yes. So I like part of me, and I wrote this down in my review because and we'll get to like the mystery and like sort of everything else as we go. But part of me felt like I kind of liked the fact that the this series was a spinoff of another series because it did feel like the author was so like well versed in these characters that she knew them so well that it didn't feel as though the author was trying to learn the characters um as we were learning the characters. And so I actually felt more connected to the characters and their character like the for example, Jake and Sam, her son, um their relationship seemed more um real, especially with him being an alcoholic and him being a recovering alcoholic. And like I thought that it was very very shocking for a cozy mystery to have so many um especially for a cozy mystery author who has been writing cozies for as long as they have, because according to Renee, the first series came out in 1988. Um, I'm surprised that there are so many modern um, elements going on in the book when it comes to things like alcohol addiction recovery and in terms of her father having a heart attack and leaving the hospital under his own free will, and then like coming home um to die, basically. Like, there were a lot more darker themes. Yes, queen. It seemed like a lot darker than usual cozies. Um, I didn't read the other series. I didn't know there was another series until I did some research, and they kept referencing the past. See, and that's the other thing, is like that's why it's like two sides of the um of the coin, right? I loved the feel of these characters already knowing each other, but I also felt like I was on the outside of jokes. Like, does that make sense? Like, I felt like I was like missing out on something because I didn't read the other series because I didn't know it existed. But then I felt like I liked the fact that these characters were so well written together, and that they flowed really, really naturally with each other, um, for a first book in a series, because that's also hard to be able to do. Cozies from the 90s I have found had darker themes, so I wonder if Grace still has that in her writing. I have read newer ones that seem to be getting back to that. Yes. So, like, let me take a drink. More like, we're calling them like millennial cozies. And like, I have a whole video on millennial cozies if you want to dive deeper into what those are. And I know we've talked about it before on book club as well. Um, Millennial cozies have started um using more darker themes, or more of the time like LGBT protagonists, or protagonists of color, or protagonists with different cultures, and but they've also, like, they've been hitting hard hitting topics. So these millennial cozies um are almost going, I can see parts of them going back to what, like, some of the cozies from the 90s had. Um, but, like, the millennial ones don't have as much, like, blatant, sexism as some of the 90s cozies that I have read have, because there are some of them that I'm like, "Oh, and how is that going?" Um, so, yeah. But our our main character is Jake, and Jake is sort of, you know, it seems like she is just sort of like the front man for, or the front lady for the chocolate shop, and that it really is Ellie who is the baker the um for the bake shop, and they have been tasked to bake all of these cheesecakes for the 4th of July weekend as raffles, or to sort of be bid on to pay for the fireworks for the 4th of July show. And it they keep getting, hold on. The characters were mature, but starting a new venture in the chocolate mousse was appealing. Yes, thank you, Gary. 100%. That is exactly nail on the head. The references to the past threw me a little, because some of them were really major things that were said matter of fact. Yes, exactly. And so, like, I was like, whoa, like that came out of nowhere. And made it seem like, oh, like we're just gonna just like let that slide. Whereas it probably didn't just slide through in the 18 books, right? That was the original series. Um, so there is that as well. So when it came to the actual mystery of it, we have our two main characters, Jake and Ellie, which I thought were really, really good as, like, best friends. I liked sort of how they, um, bounced ideas off of each other and supported one another, but as well, like, didn't let each other sort of, fall to the wayside, though I do feel like there were some parts of the book that or some parts of their relationship that I felt like would they have really kept that from each other if they had been friends for so long? Um, for example, when, uh, Ellie finally told Jake that her fingerprints would be on the pastry needle, that stabbed Muldoon. Um, and I'm pretty sure wasn't Matt Muldoon, he was just a very annoying guy. He wasn't actually a health inspector. He just kept threatening to um like sick the health inspector on Jake and Ellie from what I remember. He just seemed like one of those overbearing bullies that just is, used to getting his way and money buys everything. And if it can't buy it, then bullying will do it. And, he's like the Dudley of the town. Like he'll just throw a fit until he gets what he wants. Um, so I thought that it was very interesting, how he died being, stabbed with a pastry needle and then dunked in the mixture or the mixing machine with the chocolate, sauce. I mean, that's a way to go. I mean, death by pastry stabbing and chocolate dunking. I I guess there could be worse ways to go. Um, but I feel like the with the sheriff, what were your guys' thoughts with them already having Jake basically having 18 murders, give or take, because the previous series already having like 18 murders of relationship with this detective. Um He kinda just let them like, yeah, at first he was like, "Ladies, you stay out of it," just like, a well-rounded, uh, police officer should. You ladies stay out of it." But in the end, he kinda was just like, "Yeah, you know, go figure it out, because the city cops aren't gonna figure it out." What were your guys' thoughts on that as a first book in a series? Because normally when you start a cozy mystery series, you're sort of growing into that relationship with the protagonist. Um, and that is sort of taken away from you in this series. Does that bother you? Is that something that you didn't even think of so that it like that didn't even register? Um, that's one of my favorite parts of reading cozy mysteries is, like, watching the relationship that the amateur sleuth has with the officials, like, grow and evolve over the series to see how they interact, how they evolve, how they mature throughout the or whether or not they mature throughout the series. So I'm eager to see what you guys thought of that dynamic as well. Um because he was very much uh like I feel like he did do his due diligence when it came to like interviewing them, but uh it did seem odd. Usually there's a bunch of tension between the sleuth and the authority figure at first, but when I read it, I didn't realize these were established characters. I like they had a friendly relationship opposed to combative. I think they respected each other. Very true. Meg, hi Meg. Because Jake had these long-term connections with so many people, it felt like she was trading partners throughout the sleuthing. and kind of ditched Ellie. Yeah, very much so. It was like Ellie, since Ellie was the primary suspect, it was like Ellie couldn't be a part of it. But then Ellie had a major clue when it came to her fingerprints being on the weapon, and like that's why she is like the primary suspect to the city cops the whole and almost the whole entire time. So I thought that that was really, really interesting. I will say that the very convoluted um mystery, did you guys guess the whodunit of of it? So um Ellie had to bake the never-ending cheesecakes. She did. She did. She just had to, like, just keep going. They just kept adding more and more and more cheesecakes to her never-ending plate. Jake and Bob Arnold were very relaxed with each other. There was a lot of trust between them. Yes, 100%. Um, I agree. And I think that that shows with a 18 book relationship. I would be interested to see how their relationship started off um at the beginning of the home repair series, like how that relationship was at the very beginning. Um but oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. Oi. I taught my 4-year-old, "Oi with the poodles already." And he goes, "Oi with the doodles already." It's adorable. Um, but I so the the convolutedness of the mystery. So we find Muldoon murdered in the chocolate, and they're trying to figure out, I mean, who didn't like the guy? There's lots of people who didn't like him. Even his own wife didn't like him. And they find out that he might have been having an affair with one of the shopkeepers across the way, or actually next door to them. And so we have Ellie, that's a primary suspect, the wife that is a suspect. We have the next door neighbor, vintage shop owner, that's a suspect. The chocolate shop supplier, that is a suspect. Then we also have a the mysterious man, which ended up being um the vintage shop owner's son, right? Son, yes. Um, I was suspicious of the chocolate supplier from when Jake visited the pristine workshop, but I had no clue about the multi-criminal solution. Yeah, that one, it was like, whoo! I did not see that coming. The mystery was so convoluted, it was over the top. I thought that the book read more like a thriller, a constant pursuit without the chance to narrow the suspect list. I agree. I did not guess. Obviously, the dog Maxie was going to end up staying with Jake's dad, but I thought Marla was not going to survive the attack. The whole web of people involved seemed complicated. Yeah, Kathy, I will say that this probably was a very interesting first book club book to jump into, because it wasn't my favorite, and the mystery was very, very convoluted. And yeah, the moment that Maxie was like hurt, or I was like, that dog better stay with Jake's dad, because like, was it, yeah, like Marla does not deserve this dog. Um and so yeah, I overall, I really enjoyed the characters, but I didn't enjoy the mystery. So we find that there is a like a diamond it was diamonds, right? Like jewel smuggling ring going on. There was a uh diamond jewel smuggling ring going on from, was it Marla's brother brought it to her, right? No, or she brought it to them. Was she the, I'm pretty sure she was the ringleader. Either way, she was using her chocolate shop to launder the money, and her brother ended up being a part of it, as well as they dragged their mother into it. And then Muldoon's wife also got in on it, and she was making boku bucks on it as well. And then but Muldoon found out about it and started trying to blackmail the um the like Marla and her mom and everything, but he didn't know his wife was in on it, and the wife ended up killing him, which I did not like. I didn't see that coming. Like, I thought it was Marla. Um, but yeah. Uh, does a convoluted plot ending make the book rate less for you? Yes. If it doesn't end up making sense to me, I will rate it lower. Um, I rated low because of the bad choices by so many of the sleuth suspects, murderers, and really didn't like how the author physically described the characters, like the stepmother's size. I can see that. For me, the writing felt a little like AI generated. Oh, that is why I think it went so many directions in a relatively short period of time. That's interesting. When was this one written? This one was written in 2018. That's interesting because ChatGPT did not come out until 2022. That's very interesting. Um, but yeah, I can totally see. I feel like I really like the characters. Like, I felt like like they could be real. I liked the way that they had flaws. I liked the way that they all had their own unique sense of justice. Like, I loved her stepmom. Like, she seemed like the backbone of the whole entire family. Um, you could tell that she had a soft spot, but that, like, nobody messed with her. I loved how she was with Maxie the dog when the dog came in, and she just like talked to the dog like 100% like the dog knew exactly what she was saying. Um and that just instantly warmed my heart to uh to her as a character. So, um are you going to finish or like uh go to the next book in the series? Are you going to continue this series? Yes or no? Because I'm going to bring up the book that won for March, and I want and then I will read to you the synopses. Um, it seemed funny to me how they kept being talked into more pies. It's something I would have done. Yeah. I was like, "Oh yeah, one more pie. One more pie. One more pie." I rated it low for a lot of reasons. I found it really frustrating, particularly when they discovered something major and then the author left the loop open for too long and described the room instead. Yeah. Rated it a 3 when I read it and really didn't want to read it again. The characters seemed different and it just seemed off because they never had an interest in baking before. Oh, that's interesting. So, no, no, nope. No, I did not enjoy it enough to continue. No. So, That just means that it was not a very successful book, but it does mean that, it's always good to try new books. Speaking of new books, for March, we always do middle grade mystery for March every year. And this book won by vast majority, by like 52% or something like that. And it is The Lost Library. Here, let me share my screen. Present. Share screen. Boop. Share. Okay. So, The Lost Library. When a mysterious little free library guarded by a large orange cat appears overnight in the small town of Martinville, 11-year-old Evan plucks two weathered books from its shelf, never suspecting that his life is about to change. Evan and his best friend Rafe quickly discover a link between one of the old books and a long ago event that none of the grown-ups want to talk about. The two boys start asking questions whose answers will transform not only their own futures, but the town itself. Told in turn by a ghost librarian named Owl, an aging but beautiful cat named Mortimer, and Evan himself, The Lost Library is a timeless story from award winning authors Rebecca Stand and Wendy Mass. It is about owning your truth, choosing the life you want, and the power of a good book. And of course, the librarian who gave it to you. So, that is the book that is picked for March. I'm super, super stoked because I just love middle grade so much. It is just, and we have had some killer middle grade books that we have chosen over the past few years for book club. So here's hoping that this one is going to be just as much fun. I read it when it came out and still haven't continued, but it did get me into reading other cozy, so I can't fault it too much. That's true. I'm glad I read it, looking forward to March. I started the Lost Library audio. No spoilers. It's cute and has multiple narrators for the different main characters. You've already sold me. I love multiple narrators. That sounds fun, and it's KU. Yay! Hooray for librarians. I'm looking forward to this book. Sounds good. I think I'll try it out. I love wholesome stories. Yes, I'm very, very excited. But yeah, some fun bookish news on my end. I've hired an editor for my literary stitches, the other series that I have written. So she is working away on my draft of literary stitches, and she should be finished editing it at the end of March. And so I'm hoping to then go through all of the edits by the end of April. And then hopefully I will be self-publishing this one. I won't be going through the Wild Rose Press like I did for my Death on Deck, but then you guys will have another book out by me, and hopefully this year. So there is some other bookish news on my end. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm super, super excited. I can't wait to see all of the things that she recommends for me to make the book as best as it can be. But I am going to let uh oh, no, I went with someone else, but I'm so glad that you went with the narrator that I suggested, and I'm glad beta is going well. Good job. But I am going to finish my decaf coffee, and probably go and read some more before I zonk out because I have a long drive tomorrow for some PD on learning code because I'm designing computer science curriculum for K through 5 for my district. But good night, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, a beautiful weekend, and I can't wait to see you in the comments of my videos and on Instagram, message me and all of those things. But if I don't see you there, then I will see you on the last Wednesday of March to chat about the Lost Library. Um, Yes, thank you. Happy reading. Bye. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming to book club. It means the absolute world to me. I love you all oh so much. Good night, Ivy. Bye, everyone.